Go over some of the physical stuff on the machine and the controls. Let's start with the controls. The top left is your agitation. So you have off. If you touch it, you have continuous, off, and with fill. When you're running powders, you're going to most likely want to be in with fill. What that means is inside this large hopper, you have a blade that spins around the hopper. Every time you hit the foot pedal, it'll turn a half a turn or so. That's with fill. You can have the agitation off, which when you're running your liquids, you don't need to have the agitation on at all. You can have it on continuous, which this is here for when you're running more of high production stuff on a form fill and seal machine. It's not really something you're going to use. So agitation off or with fill is what you'll probably be using. The clutch, you can jog the clutch, which means you will jog the pump or the auger. What that means, it'll turn on for you, without hitting a foot switch. So if you want to preload or you want to empty a hopper, you would hit jog. Off, you wouldn't be running and then run. So you wouldn't be in run mode when you're running the machine. Stop and start, we want to be in start to start the machine. Cutoff, if you're running the liquids, you're going to want to have the cutoff on. If you're not running the liquids, you're going to have the cutoff off. The fill needs to be on for the machine to run. I'll hit that in a second. You can go into count mode, the count mode is what you're going to use mostly for all your powders. We do counts for powders, time for liquids. The count mode is how many times you want the auger to turn. Let's say you want it to turn 4.75 times. Let's make it 5. So that means the auger will turn 5 full rotations. What you'll do is you'll just take a weigh of your product, weighment, and then change this accordingly. You can change it to 5.15 turns. Once you set it, then you won't have to touch it much. But that's how you can touch it if you have to change the auger revolutions. And you have your production count. All right, so going back to the, you can see right here, where we go count to time. All right, count to time. And just hit that to change your time mode, okay? All right, so let's hit start. Fill on. And right now we're hit the foot pedal. One time, you just tap it. I have to hit start. I forgot to start. Tap it. Tap it. Tap it. And that's it. All right. I'm going to turn the film motor off. You have your E-stop right here. Turn it off. Let's go around the machine a little bit. This is your cutoff. This is your number 2 cutoff. This is your nozzle. We're going to give you several nozzles, and they basically just go in to the bottom here. You just use a wrench to take it off. Put a little Teflon tape on them. I'd probably change the Teflon tape most of the times you're going to use it. But this is your cutoff right here. This is your housing. This is your hopper coupling. To remove this pump housing, you're going to take off the bolts on the bottom here. So these 3 loosen up, and this housing comes out, and we'll show you that in the next video for the tooling. To take the hopper off, this big hopper, if you want to clean it out, you don't want to loosen these bolts at all. These bolts right here can always stay where they're at because it's lined up right now. There's a clutch that turns the pump or the auger, and that is dead center right here. And this lines it all up. There's self-aligning pins back here. So all you're going to do is loosen this bolt up and then remove the bracket, coupling, and hopper all together. Now you can take these bolts off the hopper, and that's fine, but keep this L bracket and coupling together. All right, so that's that. That's the hopper and coupling. Let's go around to when you're taking this cutoff off, you're just gonna remove this plug right here. So that plug's gonna come out, and then that's how you change your tooling, all right? And then you just plug it back in. Over here, you have to have your machine on or off for it to run. Anytime you're working on this machine, anytime you want to open up a control box, turn it off. Just because there's electricity running through here. Okay, so this is some of your stuff back here for your motor starters here. You're gonna bring power to the box back here. As you can see, we're bringing power here for you. I think we're gonna provide a plug actually as well. But if you want the hard wire, you can go right into this off one. Your terminal strip is down here with some wires. You're not gonna really need to do anything with this stuff in here. This is all gonna be pretty much the same. Now, this is your agitation contactor. If your blade or whatever go through too much product or get locked up, this might pop and trip. You come back here just like your circuit breaker to him and pop it back on. This is your AC drive. You can see we're going a certain way forward. You probably won't have to touch any of this. If you do, it might be just a hit run. But this is going to control when you're running your lotions, not your liquids, just your lotions. When you're running your lotions, you can change the speed of that pump. Right here, this is the speed of the pump. So you're just going to go higher or lower, and that's actually going to change the speed back here. So, but we have the switch over here. If you want to raise and lower the hopper, the filler, there's a set screw back here that you're going to loosen up, and then there's a jack down here that you can jack up and down. It's about 5 inches. So once you raise it up, you just lock this set screw back in, and it will stay where you want it to. You also have some room on your casters, your pads down here. The leveling pads, you have right now they're all the way up almost, so you can lower this filler if you want, and level it down here. What else you have? So up here you have that's your clutch in the front again. Sorry, this is your agitation motor and reducer. This is what controls your blade. There's a sprocket, a couple sprockets with some chain that's driving your blade. And then up top there is your top cover. You have a couple pulleys and a V-belt. You're not going to really need to get up there because you have an AC drive in the back. Let's open this up here for you. See if there's anything in here we can show you. That's your clutch brake power supply. So that should always be on brake until you hit the foot switch. Then it should switch to clutch. You got some clear relays, and then you have your PLC. Most of the stuff in here you're not really going to touch. But it is there, and that's pretty much it. When you want to get rid of, to take your hopper off, you do have to release these clamps as well. All right, so that's video number 1. We're going to show you how to kind of remove the tooling. I'm going to start by, having this out, and then I can show you how to put the augers in. All right, thanks.